Evenings in the mountains were so peaceful that I almost forgot my fear of the dark. Until one night, when the children convinced Granny Barkley to tell a ghost story.
And these sin-infected betrayers tried to escape the evil they'd done by coming here. Across the sea from the highlands to our mountains.
But they didn't escape it. Did they?
No. They died horrible, vengeful deaths with the blood of kinfolk on their hands. And their evil spirits still walk these mountains. Why, some nights you can still see their horrible, hot breath rising from them graves. And if you dare try and pass by, they'll rise up and grab you. Well, I tell you,
All right.
that holler behind the oak, that's the mouth of hell itself. And even if you get past that gnarled old tree, why, the earth would open up and swallow you whole and drag you down a river of blood.
Spittin's good luck, teacher.
Keeps the devil away.
But no devil would ever dare cross Granny Barkley. Her word was gospel.
It's all right, Mountie. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's only a story.
You saying Granny's a liar, teacher?
Of course not. Granny is a wonderful storyteller.
She told my daddy he's putting in a fence wrong time of the moon. Said he'd get a fence worm, sink in the ground. Sure enough, it did. And Granny knows when it's best to plant.
I'm sure she does.
That's because the moon tells her when it's gonna rain.
I don't really think the moon...
Mustn't be out too late or the haints will get you. Listen. You hear them moaning?
The Great Smokies. When I left my city home to be a school teacher at a backwoods mission, I dreamed of adventure. I wasn't ready for the real challenges of life in these mountains. I'd have given up, if not for the children. I came to Cutter Gap to teach, but they show me every day that I am here to learn.
I'm supposed to be teaching them how to think. How can I do that when they are raised in fear and superstition?
It was just a story.
Yes, but their lives are filled with these stories. And the stories keep them afraid to even learn.
Even the Bible says some things are inexplicable. Like how moonlight can make someone you never thought could be more beautiful even more beautiful.
Well, I may not be able to explain the Bible or moonlight. But I can certainly explain some ghost story.
Ruby May? Isn't it a bit late for housework?
Oh, no. Besides, there's bean blossom in the air, and that gives you nightmares and evil visions.
You're not scared, are you? All of us here at the mission?
Guess I'm not used to so many sounds at night. Back home, there's nobody. Of course, all that quiet can scare up a person pretty good, too.
How long has it been since your parents went away?
Well, Pa took off hunting just before Ma went to nurse Granny. Must be half a year or more.
Why don't you go get ready for bed? I'll come up and comb out your hair.
You can't comb out hair at night. It makes you forgetful.
I've been doing it my whole life.
Well, it's different for city folk. You don't have to remember all those worrisome things.
That's right, and neither do you.
You forget and your crops don't come in or your house will fall down on top of you. Sit down.
You don't really believe that the moon tells Granny when it's going to rain, do you?
She's always right, ain't she? She told my daddy not to plant taters in the light of the moon, and they all ran to vine.
And that was the moon's doing.
Well, didn't you teach us that the moon makes the sea rise and fall?
Yes, but...
Well, so I don't see why I can't make a simple tater grow.
Look at it. Shh. It's just an owl. You cannot go through your whole life being scared.
A hoot owl screeched like that the day my granny was born, and her life's been nothing but misery ever since. Here, you take this acorn and put it on your window, and it'll protect you.
Thank you. But will you be safe without it?
Oh, I still got me my owl feather.
I thought owls were bad luck.
Not the feathers.
That week, superstition was running rampant all over the cove. Even Miss Alice couldn't escape its influence.
Mr. Pentland, you startled me.
Oh, sorry, Miss Henderson. United States Mail.
Usually I hear that greeting across the cove. Normally they rattle the windows. Mr. Pentland, this letter's for the Allens, and this one is addressed to the Sears and Roebuck Company.
Oh, well, reckon I give the Sears people your recruiting letters for missionaries.
Would that they stock missionaries.
Mr. Pentland, you left us Miss Alice's letter. Tell Miss Alice about her milk cow's 5-footed calf?
Reckon I forgot.
But I only told you an hour ago.
It is highly unusual for you to leave such vital news undelivered. Mr. Pentland, is something troubling thee?
Thank you. I paid Granny Barkley 50 whole cents for this here charm, and it ain't done a lick of good. Susan don't know I'm alive.
Susan.
I was coming to think I was going to go through life as a bachelor, ma'am. But the moment I saw her, Susan, my heart sank down into my stomach and lodged in my throat at the same time.
Luck charms are not the way to win a woman's heart. Mr. Pentland, have you told her how you feel?
Oh, no, I can't. Well, you know me, Miss Henderson, I never had no trouble making conversation.
Indeed.
Yes, ma'am. But round her, I can't put two words together. Nothing I can think of to say seems worthy of her. I brung her some of Reb Garner's special beef jerky, but she acts like I never been born.
Have you tried food for the soul?
Canned peaches?
No, Mr. Pentland. Poetry. If thou cannot speak for thyself, why not let the poet speak for you? As Mr. George Meredith said, prose can paint evening and moonlight, but poets are needed to sing the dawn.
Superstition. A belief that some action not logically related to a course of events influences its outcome. When we're afraid of something that doesn't make sense, that is a superstition. Like walking under a ladder will bring bad luck. Great.
But teacher, if you walk under a ladder, it could fall down on you. That's purely logical.
How many of you have ever seen a ghost?
My cousin over in Red Hollow said that she...
I asked, how many of you personally have ever seen a ghost? None of us has, but we're still afraid of them. Does that make sense? Katie?
Well, I ain't never seen the devil, but the preacher tells me to be afeard of him.
Well, that's different.
Why?
Well, because that is what God tells us in the Bible.
So, if you can't see it, but God tells you it's so, then it ain't no superstition?
That's right. So how many of you have ever been to the Charter Oak after dark?
You mean the Hanging Oak? You heard Granny Barkley. Nobody goes there unless they got to, especially at night.
I am going there tonight, and I would like all of you to come along. Now, we're going to prove that there is nothing to be afraid of. Now, you're going to need to get your parents' permission to come back here after supper. And Ruby May, I know you're going to want to help me take care of the little ones.
Me? Well, I got a whole manner of chores.
None of the other children are coming.
Wanted to, I reckon. Mamas probably won't let them. They're all afraid.
Well, I guess we'll just have to do this lesson by ourselves. What are you doing with your pocket?
I know it's superstition, Miss Christy, but I don't care. And you need a dusting of salt.
It's just a stone. Look at how beautifully somebody carved this. They did that so people could remember their relatives happily and not be afraid of them. Edmund O'Teal, beloved father and husband. This grave is from 1756. Look. This one's from 1756 as well. There are a lot from 1756.
The breath of the evil betrayers, just like Granny said.
It is just swamp gas. Dr. McNeil says it's caused by the leaves rotting on the wet ground. Oh, it smells evil. Shh, there's nothing to be afraid of. It's all right.
Oh. They're rising from their graves.
Ruby May.
You know her?
I'm her daddy.
He always takes naps in the graveyard when he's had too much moonshine. Says no one will bother him there. Oh, my dress is all dirty. I look awful.
You look fine. He is going to be so happy to see you.
The way I must have looked to him last night.
I don't think he noticed much of anything last night.
I just gotta look perfect, Miss Christy. My hair. Reckon he'll stay home a while now?
Let's see how this looks.
That's your horse, sir?
Yes? It's Prince.
Princely looking, too. Needs a kingly kind of man sitting on top of him. You reckon I might ride and give the animal a little exercise?
I don't know that Prince could stand the excitement.
My pa is the best rider in the whole cove. Everybody'll tell you.
I'm sorry if I gave you a fright last night.
I didn't think you'd noticed.
Christy said she'd be surprised if you took note of anything last night.
No shine ever kept me from taking note of a fair woman.
Then you must be very happy to see your daughter so grown up.
Come in and see where I sleep, Pa. I'm the very first soul they ever let board here.
You go on and clean this bird, girl. Give it to these folks for your keep. And we'll be setting home.
You mean it, Pa? Are you fixing to stay? Oh, I'll be here every day to help out, preacher.
Oh, no, not so fast, girl. You gotta take care of me now. What with your ma off in Raven Gap. Girl's tongue always gets ahead of her.
But I gotta come here for school.
Well, might not have time for that. We'll have to see.
Pa,
Didn't I tell you to go on inside? Girl could chatter the worms out of old wood.
I wonder where she gets that from.
I take your point, ma'am. Well, anyway, I'm much obliged for all your trouble, taking her in and all.
She hasn't been any trouble. She's a great help. Mr. Morrison, you can't take her out of school. She's an excellent student. And she has grown up so much while you've been away.
It's about time. It's a gal's duty to keep house for her pa and her ma ain't around. You don't want me to tell you again now. Expect you home tomorrow.
Zadie, Zadie, so says Evan. Skip that rope and look to heaven. Climb a hill to make her taller. If she falls, she'll give a holler. If she stays up on her toes, she'll stay dry, won't break her nose. Take a half turn to the right, finds herself in blackest night. Rachel, Rachel, so says Evan. Skip that rope and look to
Ruby May?
heaven.
Isn't Eben a name on one of the tombstones?
Yes, sir.
It's very unusual. I've never heard it before. Is it a common name here?
Give him back! Give him back! Give my sister back there soon!
Stop it now! Children, come here. Why do you always pick on Becky and Mountie?
Teacher, everyone knows the O'Teals just trash.
Festus is a very special rabbit. And since you've all decided to keep him here for your science project, someone's going to have to look after him. Becky and Mountie, do you think you can take care of him?
No.
Wait, quiet! I think that is nonsense. Becky and Mountie will do just fine. I tried to show them that there's no truth to Granny's story.
Oh, but there is. There's truth to that story, just like there are to a lot of their beliefs.
Where's the truth in sprinkling salt to keep away evil spirits?
Well, to their way of thinking, if salt preserves food, why shouldn't it preserve people?
Well, here's one you can't approach scientifically. Fence worms.
All right, if you build a fence at the wrong time of the year, the ground moves in the thaw or the freeze, creating a fence worm.
I forgot you have an answer for everything.
No, that's you. You're a student of history. That ghost story's got an historical basis. 150 years ago, a rumour made its way over from Scotland that the O'Teals had betrayed their very own clan.
The O'Teals? Is that why they're outcasts?
Well, according to the rumour, they sold out some of Bonnie Prince Charlie's lads for the price on their heads. Now, betrayal of your clan is the worst possible sin imaginable. So, the evil betrayers left the cove to hide.
But they must have come back. There are still O'Teals here.
Interesting, isn't it? That's why there must be some truth to it.
I can't believe the O'Teals are shunned for something some of their distant relatives may have done hundreds of years ago.
It's not quite that simple, but that's the way you like to see everything, isn't it? Black and white.
Then educate me, Doctor, since that's the way you like things to be.
Well, the O'Teals have got themselves to blame. They keep to themselves. And that Nathan, he's an ogre even by Cove standards.
But if we could disprove this silly story, then maybe we could change the way people feel about them.
Maybe.
A bunch of the boys were whooping it up at the Malamute Saloon. The kid that handles the music box was hitting a jagtime tune. Back of the bar, in a solo game, sat Dangerous Dan McGrew. And watching his luck was his light o' love, the lady that's known as Lou. Yeah, she stopped me after the 5th verse.
The problem may have been the choice of material.
Well, the boys down at the livery stable liked it. He even stopped playing checkers.
The shooting of Dan McGrew is a fine, manly poem, Mr. Pentland, but it is not for courtship.
Oh, doggone it, Miss Henderson, what do women want?
Beautifully done, Mr. Pentland. In your lap, please.
What good's he gonna do down there? Can't catch the gravy.
We shall endeavor not to spill any gravy.
Granny Barkley gave me some powdered hemlock I'm supposed to put in Susan's food.
That will not be required.
Knife in the right, fork in the left.
Yes, but first, no.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Fork in the left hand.
Christy. So says Evan. Skip that rope and look to heaven. Climb a hill and make her taller. Climb a hill. Climb a hill to make her taller. If she falls, she'll give a holler. She falls. Falls. A waterfall. If I hadn't climbed the hill, I wouldn't have seen it. The rhyme was a map. Granny Barkley's words rang in my ears.
He'll rise up and grab it.
If she falls, she'll give a holler.
That holler, behind the oak.
Holler! Holler was another word for ravine. There was a ravine below the waterfall.
That's the mouth of hell itself.
I am not afraid. David, I'm taking the children on an outing today after school.
Don't they have chores?
The older ones do, but I think it would be a good lesson for the younger ones. I just wanted you to know where we were so you wouldn't worry.
So that I wouldn't worry? Why does that worry me? Where are you going?
To the Charter Oak. I want to show the children that there's nothing to be afraid of.
You've already done that.
I know, but nobody came, so it didn't work out very well, did it? I'm going to try again in daylight.
I'll go with you.
David, that's sweet, but if you don't repair that fence, the pigs are going to get to the vegetables before we do.
I'll fix it later.
David, it's not necessary. You've got 100 things to do.
None that I would enjoy as much as...
Protecting me when I really don't need it? We're just going over the ridge. Don't be such a worrier.
I was until I met you.
And some of the rhymes are codes for things that people were afraid to say in public or wanted to keep secret.
Reckon our rope skipping rhyme's got a sacred code?
That's what we're going to find out, and we're going to the Charter Oak during the day, so we don't have to be afraid, right? We are going to miss you, Ruby May.
Oh, I'll see you every day. I'll wake up real early, do all my chores. Then he'll let me come to school. I know he will.
Of course he will. And once he sees how much you've grown up, he will be so proud of you.
Everything's gonna be just fine.
Climb a hill to make her taller. If she falls, she'll give a holler.
Falls, like waterfalls, not falls.
She'll give a holler.
She'll give a holler. Holler. Holler, like that one yonder.
That's right, over here.
Yeah. Come on.
Her toes. She'll stay dry, won't break her nose.
Teacher, just like Mom said, you gotta get cross on your toes.
She'll stay dry, won't break her nose.
Won't break your nose.
What could that mean?
Children, what does that rock up there look like to you?
A nose.
She'll stay dry.
Won't break your nose. It looks
broken
just
nose.
It looks just like a nose.
You minding the supper?
It's almost ready. Fix the cornbread the way you like it.
Got it for it burnt. You know, you've been taking on some airs up that there mission, girl. Let me tell you something. You ain't pretty enough to get hitched. Nor smart enough to be city folk. So I'm stuck with you.
I'm too smart.
What are you gonna do with all them smarts, girl? You don't teach girls even simpler than yourself? Best not to teach them cooking.
Pa. Please let me go back to school. Miss Christy says I learn real quick. School's good. It makes me more useful.
You want to better yourself, girl, you look after these hides. I'm gonna take an El Peno this week.
When are you coming back?
Even your mom knows better than to ask that.
She cried herself to sleep every night waiting for you to come back. And you never did. Why do you think she left? Granny ain't that sick, Pa.
I ain't the marrying kind.
Ma hates this cabin because you ain't never in it.
Your mom knew the only reason I married her is because you come along.
Go on now. Run away. This is all you ever do.
Say what you said. Man, you stop it now. You stop it now. You be grateful you even got a paw.
Take a half turn to the right. Come on, children. Come on. Come on. I bet there's treasure. Take a half turn to the right. A scaredy cat. I ain't scared. You're too. Miss Christy! Sam Houston! Sam Houston! They're swallowed him up, just like Granny said. Christy, be quiet, Christy.
Be quiet, please be quiet. Sam Houston, where are you?
Here, ma'am.
Right, I hear him. He's all right. Okay, where are you, Sam Houston? Yell as loud as you can. Keep talking.
Miss Christy.
Mr. May, are you all right?
In here, ma'am.
United States Mail.
That courtship has not gone well.
Ma'am. That don't come near it. I went up to see Susan, and I guess I should have knowed since she's the prettiest thing you ever seen and only 17.
They did not tell me that.
The sun rises in Susan's blue eyes. So I reckon I should have expected the sweetheart, but the bullet took me by surprise.
Bullet?
Well, yes, ma'am. It went clean through my hat. And he nearly got off another shot before Susan stopped him. But then she lit into me. Said I didn't have any business courting her, and her heart belonged to her Joshua and always will. I never stood a chance.
Oh, Mr. Pentland, thee will feel better in time.
How do you handle it? Well, you're on the road alone like me. Don't you wish you had somebody waiting for you?
We do, Mr. Pentland. We have the children waiting for us when we ride in, shut-ins. People that would never see an outside except for us. We bring them the world. They depend on us.
But don't you ever get lonesome?
Friends sitting around the fire, waiting for our return. These are our family, as surely as a husband or a wife might be.
Still, well, that's not the same, is it?
No, it is not. It is different. And perhaps that will be something that we never have. But we have other blessings, and Susan is not thy last possibility. Thou art a man with a great deal to offer.
Well, that's the truth. Like the news about the O'Connell sisters over here in El Pano.
I meant they have a great many fine qualities.
Seems Harriet got her a headache and took a sip of Missy's rheumatism medicine.
Mr. Pentland, you know I never listen to gossip.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, maybe this one time.
Well, now they found Harriet dancing the Highland Fling by the outhouse, and when they smelled that medicine bottle, empty as a dry well, about near knocked their noses off, Missy'd filled it up with pure moonshine.
Oh, my. Mr. Pentland, that's not funny.
Yes, it is, ma'am.
See? Everything in Granny Barkley's story has a logical, scientific explanation. Stay close to me, children. Maybe you should go back. Wouldn't your father be worried? You don't care about me. Never did, I reckon. Ruby May, it was the liquor talking.
I'm sure once he sobers
No.
up.
It's me. I just ain't. This is not your fault. You'd have stayed closer to home if I was prettier, smarter. Miss Christy.
River of blood.
Blood! It's the minerals that make the water red.
Look, teacher. Over yonder. Maybe it's treasure.
Children say,
Whoa! Miss Christy! Are you ready?
You're going to have to go for help, Ruby May. The others are too young. Just go back the way I told you.
I'll never remember.
Then leave a trail of pebbles so you can find your way back here just in case. But I know you can do it.
No, I can't. I don't have no acorns, and I lost my owl feather.
Do you know what you were named for? A ruby. A precious stone that gleams inside just like you. They say it's a good spirit, that it protects against poison and bad dreams. You don't need a luck charm. You carry it around inside you.
She insisted they'd be fine. There was nothing to worry about.
Of course she would.
They're on their way to the graveyard, but they can't still be there.
And you're just now going to look for her.
She said I was being too protected. I'm wasting time.
Well, I'm going with you. The two of you can't be trusted to find your way out of an open field.
Don't go nowhere. Jenny Revel brought us more food today. If and her daddy finds out, he'll whip her bad. He hates us O'Teals even more than the rest of them do. What a brave gal. Thank goodness for Carrot Top. Without her, we'd be dead for sure. Lord knows how Jenny finds her way in and out. She's such a tiny thing, but what a big heart. Wind.
And then Miss Christy fell and hurt her ankle, and she sent me to find the way out.
Ruby
But
May!
I got all turned about.
Ruby May! Do you know how to go back in?
Of course I do.
The Bible Ruby May found told the story of the O'Teals, who hid in the caves when the rumor of their betrayal of Bonnie Prince Charlie's men reached here from Scotland. It also told the story of red-headed Jenny Revel, who secretly took care of them. Jenny made up the rhyme to help her find her way to the caves, and she spread a ghost story to keep the others away. Over the generations, the ghost story and the rumors of the betrayers' evil deeds had blended together. After they went into hiding, the O'Teals discovered that one of them had indeed betrayed the clan. It was his skeleton we found by the River of Death. Whether others killed him or he killed himself was not clear.
God knows what'll become of us. But we've all got the fever, and we can't stay no longer. There's no more ratting.
They hanged the men that didn't run away. So Granny told me.
But there are still O'Teals here.
So Jenny did manage to save some of them.
One of the women was with child. The name was Caradon.
What a brave girl that Jenny Revel was.
None braver than Ruby May.
And Jenny, if memory serves me right, she married Ang Morrison.
Morrison?
She was your great granny.
Carrot Top. Just like me.
Just had your fun now, girl. It's time to come home.
Got responsibilities here, Pa.
None of your flapjaw now. Come on.
These folks need me.
They's your kin now.
You're my Pa. And I'd give anything to make us a real family. But we ain't. And it ain't my fault. Hitting me won't change my mind.
I reckon you's old enough to make your own bed now. Lie in it.
We're still kin, Pa. There's all different kind of kin.
A few days later, the remains of the evil betrayer found in the cave were finally put to rest. I was surprised at how many people came. But then David made me realize that we were putting more to rest than just a man.
Forever. This man, this O'Teal, may have done some bad things, but his family cannot be blamed for his actions. And their descendants 150 years later certainly aren't to blame. We each make our own way in this world, and family means more than who carries your name. Your clan is who you choose to care for.